Hi everyone, you're welcome to Time with Flora, and today I'm having a conversation with my brother, who is called Andy. Andy, say hello.
Hello everyone.
And so today we're going to be having a bit of a natter, a chat, conversation, and we're just going to touch on some themes just around sort of friendship in families, relationships, etc. That kind of thing. Keep it really light, a little bit of fun, and just talk about a number of things. And so this is Time with Flora. It's a production by Headway Point. Obviously, you can find us on Google. Please do like us, and also drop comments and feedback as well with regards to what you've heard. If it's something of interest, if there's more that you would like us to cover in our conversations, various conversations. But I hope you have fun with this. So Andy, how you doing, bro?
All right.
Okay, so thinking back, and my first question to you is, what's your earliest memory of us being brother and sister? Not all the kind of, and we've got lots of pictures, haven't we, and things of us when we were younger. But in terms of that earliest memory that you recognise as us being a unit as such, as siblings, what's your earliest memory?
Yeah, well, I think the first time's got to be when we started to go into secondary school together, and we had to take the bus from. First, it was from when we lived in Clapham North, and we took the 137.
Yes, was that? Yes, that was Clapham North.
Yeah,
was it Clapham North or Streatham?
No, it was because we lived.
Oh yeah, we moved from Streatham.
We moved from Streatham to Clapham North.
True.
And then we used to then take the bus.
Yeah, 137.
137 to from Clapham North down to Streatham to Dunraven.
That's right.
And yeah, so that was really. I mean, that was the first time, and we actually kind of did, or did something together, and it was regular, and it was kind of me and you.
Yeah.
Whereas before, either we would walk to Dunraven from home, separately or together, but that was when we had to leave together. We got to school together, and yeah, that's my first kind of memory of us as a unit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine too, actually, because we have had a conversation about it. And we were saying that the way you recognised it, or you recall it, is slightly different to how I recalled it. The reason why it stuck in my mind so much as something I remembered so well is because I just always have this image of you with your bag, your school bag, which you had one of those courier bag things, which you had over your shoulder and hang, with the main part of the bag, sack part of it at your back, and then you had a football in one arm, and why it's so poignant to me is because I always thought that you were running from me. So as soon as we'd step out of the house, and we were off the street, off you would race. And of course I'm the older sibling, so I felt I needed to keep an eye on you. But here you are running off, waiting for the bus, and if you could have gotten an earlier bus before I even got there. So I have that kind of memory about it. It didn't cause me any sort of pain or anger or anything, but it's just the way I remembered it. And you're always very anxious to get into school and play football. We'd get on the bus and you wouldn't even sit next to me, and so I'd always sort of be watching out for you, and all of that. So that's really the memory that I have about that. But yeah, same time, same moment of just you and I, brother, sister, and doing our thing. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that's, like you said, we have different. I don't remember that at all. I just remember we used to go, take the bus together to go to school.
Yeah, I've got issues.
I don't know. I don't remember that. I think that probably, I'm not saying that's what I didn't do that, but I think it's probably about me being more anxious to get to school and go and play football with my friends and sort of forgetting, who I was with. Although now, all the things you said that I did at the time, I don't remember anything.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, it wasn't a problem.
No.
It's just how I remember it, and
Yeah.
I actually recall it with fondness. I find it funny when I think about it, because of that sort of image I had and all of that. So, what would you say has been the best thing about our relationship as siblings? And by the way, we are 2 of 5. But, I'm the eldest, Andy follows me, and we were together for a while before, our sister came and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's also been a kind of closeness that we've had. But yeah, what do you think, what do you feel has been the best thing about our relationship?
I think the best thing is that, we do have our disagreements sometimes, but we never argue. We don't have, big arguments, confrontations. I'm talking verbal, because, physical was never even, never contemplation. We always seem to know the point where you get to say, look, this is getting too much. Let's just end this conversation in a nice way. Take a break. Then when we both thought about it, we'll come back together when we're sort of got time to think, and we resolve it. So I mean that is what I would say the greatest thing is that we don't argue. We don't let it get to that point where we're arguing.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. But in your opinion, what do you think are the reasons why that's not how it is for everybody, clearly? No. And I'm sure there are people that get on even better than we do anyway. But, where there are those kind of disagreements with siblings and issues like that, what do you think could be the fundamental reasons why there may be those kind of problems in a sibling family relationship?
Well, I think one of the things is that one of us is always big enough to reach out to the other one. No matter how bad we argue, one person will say, look, I've got to get in contact with the other person, and resolve this. We don't let it fester. Yeah. I mean, in my case, it's mainly because I don't actually like these things hanging over me. And I'm sure maybe in your case it might be the same, but we do. So we never get to the point where we really, really argue and say, I don't want to speak to you, or you don't want to speak to me. Yeah. And obviously the other thing is being big enough to communicate. Yeah. And not saying I'm not going to speak to that person.
Yeah. I would definitely agree with that. And I would add, the communication piece is really important. In any kind of relationship, it's really important. I think the other thing as well is that we've learned to understand and appreciate the people that we are, our differences, strengths, weaknesses, that kind of thing. That is something I think has also been very fundamental to our how we get on, and how we're able to sustain, our relationship and engagement. So I think that also is something that we get, and I try and take that, let me call it wisdom, if you will, and maturity with time, to also use it to navigate other relationships also. So communication, value in as well, because I also place value on the relationship. I think that's another important thing, because you could have disagreements with so many people, but you're not, it's kind of like choosing your battles, isn't it? You are not going to go chasing after every relationship to make it good. One tries their best to be as good a person as you can, and you don't always succeed. This way that you have just talked about, and we are just talking about, is not, unfortunately, something that we would apply in every sort of situation, although one does their best. But I think there's something about it is the value that you also place on a relationship that makes you very intentional about saving that relationship. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's also fundamentally, communication, but also the value that you attach to that relationship as well, is one that, will help in terms of how you see the importance of staying connected.
Yeah.
Yeah. So last year, Dad passed away, 90 years of age. It was certainly a celebration of life. After that immediate sort of sadness that he had gone and we wouldn't be seeing him anymore, I was really touched by a lot of the way that people really came out to support us, to console with us. It really opened my eyes to the relationships are already part of our lives, people that are part of our lives that I certainly didn't appreciate as much as I should have been appreciating them. The experience has shifted some things for me in terms of my mindset, and as a consequence, I'm doing things a little bit more differently, for all the right reasons, like engaging a bit more, speaking to members of the family, cousins and so on, a bit more than I used to. What was the experience for you in terms of how it impacted you, if at all it did, and maybe how it may have changed some of the things that you are doing now that you are thinking about now?
I think the most sort of powerful thing for me, communication is one of the things that came out for me as well. But I think what was more dominant as a afterthought for me was the amount of people that came and the stories you heard from people about how he helped them, how he supported them. And half of the people he helped and he supported were not immediate, because when you think of that, he was someone that you could see he cared deeply about immediate family. It was really important that immediate family were moving in the right direction. But the fact is that he extended that to other people with the same level of thought, and so many people come in talking about things that he did for them that I never knew about, that I was really, really, really sort of shocked, and people telling me about what he did for them. That's kind of, in that respect, that where it's kind of changed me is that sometimes when you want to do something for people, you think, why should I bother? Why should I bother? I've got this to do or that to do. But you went back to him that he did things for so many people, and unfortunately, some of those people probably never expressed what they
really felt
about what he did. So it's about understanding when you do good for people, it's not all the time, it's not always about what people say, what people do, but actually just do good.
Yeah.
And you make a difference, even though sometimes you don't know it. Yeah, and that's what it's kind of brought for me. So when you get to that stage, where you get the why bother, then you say, actually, because it's the right thing to do.